The best of the morning X. 99X.
So I get a lot of calls, throughout the course of the week from publicists and authors and people who have things they want to promote, and they're calling me up. Hey, I want to get our client on your show. Hey, we want to get this author on your show, or this actor that nobody's heard of, or whatever. And about a year and a half or so ago, I get a call from a girl who lives in Atlanta. Her name is Sara Blakely, and she's telling me, "Oh, hi, Jimmy. My name is Sara, and I came out with these new pantyhose, and they're called Spanx, and I just want to know if, maybe you'd like to have me on to talk about my pantyhose and blah, blah, blah." And I'm listening. I'm like,
blah, 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 blah.
Blah, I'm not putting somebody on to talk about new pantyhose. That is just...
I'm surprised you made it that long in the message.
Yeah.
You heard that much?
Yeah, it was like a new rock message. I have new pantyhose, click, And not that I didn't think it was great, but we just don't do a lot of segments on our show, for the pantyhose, segment. Industry. Anyway, a year and a half later, and Sara Blakely is worldwide. I mean, all over the place.
You may have read about her in Forbes.
People, guys, I can promise you.
Oprah.
I can promise you that your girlfriend or wife knows what Spanx are. This woman took an idea in her apartment that just popped into her head, and 2 years later, and she's selling $14 million worth of these things in a year.
It's a success story.
It's an incredible
Huge.
success story, and
now you want to talk to me, huh, Jimmy?
Now we'll hear what you have to say.
I see how you work.
Well, you know what it's like? I'll tell you what it's like. It's like the day I got a call about, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago from some publicist who had some British actor in town who nobody had ever heard of, and he has some stupid new movie out, and they want to know if we can interview him. And I'm like, what's the guy's name? I don't know this guy. Nobody's going to know who this guy is. Nobody's heard of him. She's like, well, you don't know of him now, but I'm telling you, people are going to know who Hugh Grant is real soon. I'm like, well, when they know who he is, then you call me. So, and this was an in studio.
We've all had those.
I
was going to blow off Counting Crows. Leslie had to put a gun to my head.
Right. Barnes, please interview this new band.
Who? What? Counting what? They're named after birds? I don't want to talk to them.
There was a time we got a memo. Hey, if you're around here during lunch, there's this new artist who's going to be playing in the cafeteria later on, just for some of the executives.
Cafeteria.
In the lunchroom, just for like whoever wants to stop by. Her name is Alanis Morissette, and she's from Canada. And if you're...
She's angry.
So
if
please,
you want to.
Welcome to the show, Sara Blakely, who...
Thank you.
Household name now.
Created Spanx. Now, why are they called Spanx, first of all, with an X?
Because they make women's butts look better.
Yeah, Is that really where you got the name?
Yeah,
it's
where
a great
did the name come
by the
from?
way.
I got the name because I knew Kodak and Coca-Cola are the most recognized names in the world, and they both have a strong K sound in them.
Mm-hmm.
So for just good luck, I wanted my product to have a K sound in it.
Really?
And sitting in Atlanta traffic, Spanx with a KS came to me, and at the last minute, I changed it to an X.
What were you doing before this?
I was selling copiers and fax machines door to door.
What is your degree in?
Communications.
And had you, all right, so take us to the beginning. Where did this first pop into your... Explain what Spanx are, first of all. Explain why they're different than other pantyhose.
Pantyhose,
They have no
right.
feet. So it's the first ever footless control top pantyhose, and it came to me because I love clothes and shoes, and I had cream pants that hung in my closet for a while. I wanted to go to this party and wear the pants with open-toed shoes, so I didn't want pantyhose on my feet. And I cut the feet out of pantyhose to solve the panty line issue.
Why couldn't...
Because you could see all my undergarments under my
Panty line.
Under the
pants.
cream-colored pants. Well,
Yeah.
Isn't
and
that what a
it's-
thong is for?
Well, it also smooths and shapes.
Smooth your
and,
butt,
know.
JB, and your hips and
All right.
everything,
I'm speaking to
everything
the
else
women
in
now.
between.
So
Yeah,
you had
exactly.
been taking regular pantyhose and just cutting the feet off them?
Well, I did it just this one night to go to this party, and it solved my problem perfectly. I wore these cream pants, and I thought this product should exist for women, and I started asking around, and all the women at the department stores were like, no, but what a great idea, and if you find something like that, let us know. So I went on the internet and started looking up hosiery mills and found out that most of them were in North Carolina. So I took time off of work and drove around and begged a bunch of men that make pantyhose to help make this idea of pantyhose without feet.
And they didn't steal it from you?
No, they thought the idea was insane. I mean, they all sent me away. And
Why?
Yeah, here's this
Why
chick
is it
with this
insane?
stupid idea. Because they're guys.
But see, I'm a guy, and even I can understand. Oh yeah, that would make sense. You don't, because it looks dumb when you have when we were pantyhose with open-toed shoes,
Right.
it does look kind of dumb.
Right.
So even I, and I'm about as dumb as they get, can understand. Like, yeah, that is kind of a good idea. Why would they not think it was good?
They thought it was a really bad idea. I mean, they all sent, first of all, I show up by myself and they're like, and you are? And I'm like, Sara Blakely, and you're financially backed by, Sara Blakely. So they're like, okay, well, have a nice day.
Well, I can't believe guys were sending you away. I don't buy that.
What guy was sending you away?
I'm sorry, nobody was sending you away.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the first problem.
Yeah.
So finally you convinced someone,
Right.
apparently.
Well, actually, what happened was I got sent away, and I got a phone call about a month later from a mill owner in Charlotte, and he said, okay, Sara, I've decided to help make your crazy idea. And when I asked him why he had the change of heart, he said, I have 2 daughters.
See?
So, very cool. As soon as he told me he would help me make it, I, in the meantime, had been cold calling all these attorneys in town and trying to get them to help me patent the idea. And they thought it was crazy also. And the patent attorney I ended up using later admitted to me that when I first walked in his office and met with him, he thought that either his friends had set him up or that he was on candid camera.
Talking to Sara Blakely, who's a Morning X subscriber who created a thing called Spanx and now has billions of dollars.
The patent attorney I ended up using later admitted to me that when I first walked in his office and met with him, he thought that either his friends had set him up or that he was on candid camera.
Why?
Because
He
he's
thought it was
like,
a stupid idea.
Is it so
He thought
dumb
it
of
was-
an idea?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like
well,
you do
he
that.
just said I wasn't his typical client. I walk in, I'm like, I have this idea that's going to change the world. And I whipped out pantyhose and started pointing to like the feet and the crotch and this. And he just started looking around the room. And he helped me. It was great.
Now, the purpose is
Now-
why I'm going to ask a dumb question as a guy representing the guy sect. Why wouldn't you just not wear anything with them?
Right.
Well, if you don't have an hour or 2 hours a day to spend at the gym anymore, Spanx will make you look like you do.
You know what? It doesn't
So it's
matter.
a point of form.
It doesn't matter how much I work out, and I walk almost daily. I
Right.
still have things like right here on my legs that I can't get rid of, and it's like they stick out in
Well,
pants.
you're not trying hard enough, honey. I mean,
a little
so-
longer.
Yeah.
Well, so
that's
the
right.
the point is form, not panty lines.
Both. I
Both.
mean, both. I sell them to women that are ultra thin
And-
that, are interested more for the no panty line and the smooth look in their clothes. And then I sell them to all different sizes.
Now, how much money did you have to sink into getting the prototype made? And I mean, how does this
$5,000.
How does this work? I mean, you go to the mill.
I went to the mill. I got on the internet. I looked at hosiery mills. I went to the attorneys. They wanted between $2,000 and $5,000, and $5,000 was my whole savings. So I bought a book on trademarks and patents at the Barnes and Noble, wrote my own patent, and then went back to the attorney that took me the most seriously and said, "Will you help write the claims for a discounted price?" And he agreed to do that. And then once the mill owner made my first prototype, it took a year. I had it in a Ziploc.
It took a year?
Yeah, a year, because I was the lowest on the totem
Oh,
pole
okay.
of priority.
All he's got to do is whip out
Yeah.
some with no feet.
How hard is it to make a
No,
pair
it
of-
took a long time because I was obsessed with the waistband and comfort and.
yeah, you don't want it to
Oh, so
be
you
too
kept
tight.
going back and forth?
So he makes
Yes,
this
we can-
prototype for you,
Right.
And you have to, obviously, I'm guessing you have to pay him to, for his services or whatever.
Actually, no. He
no.
didn't charge
Okay,
me.
so, and then you walk out of his mill with a pair of these Spanx.
Yes.
In a bag.
Yes.
And
how'd
then
you
what do
sell
you
'em?
do?
So excited. I called up Neiman Marcus and I said, I'm Sara Blakely. I invented a product. Will you give me 10 minutes of your time? I'll fly to Dallas. And she said, well, if you're willing to fly here, okay. So I put the product in a Ziploc bag from my kitchen, and I had a color copy of the packaging that we had designed, and flew to Dallas and met with her. And she instantly was like, this is brilliant. I want it on our shelves right away. And she put it on seven of her doors.
I wonder.
So what does that mean? It means she's going to cut you a check for X amount right there?
Well,
Right.
she bought some. I had no ship. I mean, the mill is shipping. I have semi trucks pulling up in front of my apartment in Virginia Highlands twice a week with pantyhose. I couldn't even get to my kitchen for like weeks. But I bribed friends to help me ship it. I mean, I got this order from Neiman's. I called the mill owner. There was a really long pause. He's like, "What do you mean Neiman's bought it?" I'm like, "Neiman's bought it." He's like, "I didn't think I'd ever hear from you again. I thought you'd be giving these away for Christmas for the next
I
5
wonder
years."
if the buyer from Neiman Marcus was a man, if you would have been able to sell those things.
I wonder.
Because
Up until the point I had been dealing with men, and then the minute that I met with the buyer from Saks and Neiman's and all this stuff, they were like, "I get it."
What was
This
the
is
initial
brilliant."
shipment for Neiman's? How many did they buy at first?
I think the first shipment was like 3,000, and I instantly called every friend I had since like grade school that lived in those cities and was like, "You got to go buy this product and make a big deal out of it."
and these
then,
go for about $25 a pair.
Yeah. And then it took off. I mean, she put it in 14 doors and then, all of her doors. And then I went and cold called Saks Fifth Avenue in New York. And then I was on Oprah and I got a call from Nordstrom.
Oh, what do you mean you were on Oprah?
That'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking to Sara Blakely, who's a Morning X subscriber who created a thing called Spanx and now has billions of dollars.
Now,
we said it would work years ago when she called.
How did Oprah find out about you?
I sent her a gift basket of Spanx.
And it actually got to her?
Yeah.
It got to her. And what was interesting was I sort of gave up a little bit for a while because I was really discouraged. No one was helping me make it. And so I kind of put it out in the world and said, okay, give me a sign, whatever. I'm either supposed to do this or not. And I flipped on the end of Oprah after a training seminar up in Detroit. And she lifted up her pant leg that day and showed the world that she had cut the feet out of her pantyhose to solve this problem.
So she did this first?
Well, I had been trying to get it made for a year, and I kind of just said, I'm up against a wall. I'm either supposed to do this crazy idea, or not. I'd already applied for the patent and everything. So the minute I saw her do that, for me, that was my sign. I was like, I'm going for it.
If Oprah's doing it, I'm going to shake my head and do it too.
Exactly. So when I sent her the gift basket, it was like, here, I'm like, in the same wavelength, I'm wanting this product as well. And I got a call from her show, and it was great. I mean, they were like, Oprah chose your product as one of her favorite things for this annual favorite things show. And we want to, she likes your story, so we want to come.
Because when she does those shows.
And she's like a drug dealer. And I mean, her viewers, they mainline anything that she pushes, they mainline.
It's true.
So what does this mean now? How much jack are you making off these?
Well, when Oprah, can you give us an idea when Oprah goes on TV with your thing?
Right, it's insane. Like,
Tell
it's
what
crazy.
was what were your sales to that point? And
well, I'd only invented it for 2 months, so I'm in the back of my apartment. They show up. They go, "We want to film you in your headquarters," and I was like,
"Headquarters."
I was like, "You're standing in it," and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And then they go, "And we've decided we want to film you having a staff meeting," and I was like, "Hold on a minute." I had to recruit a staff. I called this lady I met at mailboxes, etc., because I'd been FedExing pantyhose, and I'm like, "Connie, can you be at my house and look like you work for me?" And called a couple of my friends. They all came over. And
why don't you just say it was you?
Yeah.
I mean, just say, hey, it's just me. I'm a one woman show.
Right. Well, yeah, why not?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it was more fun to get all my friends over there. We all got to be. My friend who's in the finance world was standing in just pantyhose on Oprah. It was great.
So, and then, of course, talk about QVC, and that took you to the next level.
Right. Well, I cold called QVC. I'd been trying to get on there for about 4 months because my product was a new idea also. I mean, believe it or not, a lot of women didn't get it. Like, I'd stand and lift up my pant leg for women, and they'd go, well, what? And I'd be like, it's all about the butt. And they go, oh, I get it. So
you should be shaking your ass, not holding up your pant. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I do.
You're directing them to the wrong.
And the irony is here. Here's a woman who invented this thing that's supposed to help women, control their top and tuck in their flab and all that stuff. Look at her. You think she even needs these things?
Yeah.
She's a stick.
Jimmy, it's about the panty line, and it's smooth.
Yeah, it does.
It's smooth.
I'm really 300 pounds.
See, I mentioned this off
hidden
air.
in a size 2.
Maybe I don't know if I'm the only guy. I kind of find panty lines sexy.
You would.
I don't know what. Maybe
they're not sexy.
I think they're kind of sexy. Barnes?
Panty lines are sexy
No?
if you got an hour and a half to spend at the gym every day. I mean, it's fine.
So you go on QVC. How many did you sell on there?
Oh, it's crazy. It's so much fun. I go on for about 7 or 8 minutes, and I can sell anywhere between 3,000 and 9,000 pair in 8 minutes.
And what do they go for a pair?
25.
And what's it cost to make each one?
That's a trade secret.
$1 or less.
Well, I'm going to say, first of all, is this the same material as like normal pantyhose?
Yes.
Okay.
Less than $1.
Well, actually,
$1.
I mean,
yeah. I'll say generously $1. $1, sure. Why can't you tell us?
So you're loaded.
Why can't you tell us what it costs to make a pair of Spanx?
Jimmy,
what's it matter? People are going to stop buying them.
You got the packaging and
top
everything
secret.
else.
Well, so did you move out of that 1-bedroom apartment?
I just did. I just bought a place a month ago.
Bigger?
Yeah.
All right. You still running it out of the house?
No, we just moved out of the house.
You got a warehouse now?
Well, I have 17 people with me, so that'd be kind of crowded in my apartment. Thank God we got space.
Now, how many are you selling a year of Spanx?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Is there anybody who at your organization who would know that?
Yes.
Really? So you're like not even. You don't even know that stuff at this
point.
point.
Well, I'm more of the creative marketing person.
Can you say how much the company made last year?
$14
million. What are your projections for this year?
Hopefully more than that.
14, and the cost is probably about $1 million.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, she did a lot of the work on her own.
I mean, I realize that it's kind of one of those things where
God bless you.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great story.
It's a great story. It's a great story, Sara Blakely.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Sit down.
Uh-oh.
Because I got a little problem with this. All right. This is the enemy of men. All right.
Don't listen to
Sound
this.
like my
Leslie,
brother.
Don't listen to this.
Leslie, give me the floor for a second. This is deception.
Agreed.
It is deceptive.
Here.
This is nothing but all this is going to do is aggravate and frustrate men.
Amen.
Because it's false packaging. I mean, this is you are not doing justice here. You are not helping men at all here.
She doesn't care
I
about
think
you.
she knows. I think she
marketing
knows that
this to
she's doing
women.
that.
It's false advertising for women.
You sound like my brother.
Did he tell you the same
yes.
thing?
He's like, Sarah, it's just not right.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Jimmy, pantyhose been around for a long time,
yeah.
so suck it up. Sarah, I love your products and I use them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leslie.
It is.
Thanks,
Spanx.
Hey, props to you.
I do
That's
want to.
huge.
I think in the last minute, can you stand? You were talking off air, and this is interesting about. You said companies are knocking you off right now,
Right.
And I would think that with a patent, you can't.
Can't
that
do
you
that. I
can't do
know. Well,
that.
that's a misconception for entrepreneurs that I thought if I got the patent, I was home free. But a patent is only as good as you're willing to defend it.
You're going to have to spend money to defend it, right?
Right, absolutely. And the people that are knocking me off are like, multi-billion-dollar companies. So I'm faced with a business decision. Do you spend that money fighting them, or do you spend that money and energy coming out with the next best thing?
I don't know. You might be able to get a nice settlement out of someone like, legs, or I don't know who. I mean, I don't know who the pantyhose people are.
All right, so let me
Right.
ask you this.
Yeah.
Normally, when a company buys another company, it's usually for 10 times its earnings. That's kind of a standard template for
Right.
what company comes along right now and offers you $140 million. That's
Right.
10 times 14, 140. Would you sell the company for $140 million?
You're crazy. You thought 5 seconds. Are you insane?
You know what? I'll tell you why. Because I think she's smart. Because I think she knows she can probably get twice that. Because in 2 years,
Man,
she'll be selling
140, I'm gone.
In 2 years, she'll be selling $30 million, and she can sell it for
Good work.
$300 million.
Yeah, way to go, Sarah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
great job.
Morning X subscriber gone good. Spanx.com. It's SPANX.com.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie.